Gold 2 1v1 replay analysis for ZeyroX. They are looking for advice on positioning and boost management. Should be nice and easy. And yeah, let's go. Kickoffs, alright. Well, nice and easy things to kick off, so definitely don't come at it from the best angle. What you should be doing is running over that first boost instead of driving right by it. While it's good to try this fast kickoff, if you're not coming in straight on, then it's kind of pointless. You just pretty much lose it out there, and you're pretty lucky that they don't score. Also not great that you don't immediately retreat back. You really do want to be doing that, because if they had put that on target, that would have been straight in. And again, just kind of a hit that is pretty risky and useless. Like, you make this 90-degree roll, what you should be doing is just trying to hit this into the corner so you can keep control, or even just tap it, because at this point Sap Shark has lost ball control. You don't need to smack this away like this. But, you know, you get ball back eventually though. You go for an aerial play, but then you just kind of leave it. What you really well, you've got two options. Is either one drill. Really, what you want to be doing is just getting it a lot closer before you take this type of hit, because they just have heaps of time to get it. So, you definitely, biggest thing in 1v1 is keeping the opponent guessing for as long as possible, not just throwing it away instantly, because it's just a throwaway of the ball. You're never going to put it on target, and they're never going to miss. So, yeah. Should definitely try to steal that middle boost as well, instead of just hanging them free boost. You almost get flicked on there. Well, main problem is that you just react too late to their flick attempt, and also really you should be attacking. You should be turning around here and attacking. That would have been a free just downfield attempt for you. Instead, now it's stuck in the corner for at least the next 10 seconds. But you are able to stay patient enough, but then you just throw that patience away by just chucking it downfield. I don't know what the hell that was. Unless you were going supersonic, which is impossible at this angle, you're never going to put that in. Absolutely no chance. But in the end, the opponent also throws away the ball, doesn't even bother to challenge properly, and that's a goal. So I wouldn't really call that any sort of ingenuity by you. It's just really the opponent shitting his pants, which is really all that's required at this rank. Kickoff. Main problem is that you don't really. Your flip is the main problem, I would say. This is a terrible camera angle, but nevertheless, he keeps himself flat. He comes in flat, and he just brute forces right through you. What you should be doing is, instead of side flipping here, which just gives them free advantage, should be also front flipping in as well. And that's just a free goal for them. Definitely want to be avoiding those side flips when you don't have that advantage. Probably maybe trying to read what the opponents are trying to do on the kickoff as well would help you out a lot. Again, you get beaten. They just... Seems like that's pretty much their tactic, just coming in flat. Yeah. It just comes in flat again. Smacks it over you. Just a bit too patient there, really. Should have kept your speed. And also grab the boost. Grab that boost there would have helped. But yeah, just maintain your speed there, really. And you would have made that a lot easier for yourself. And yeah, you just get bedding out there to the ball. Just being a bit too patient again, but you are able to get it out nevertheless. And a crappy gold 2 level air dribble attempt, basically. You can tell from a mile away you're never scoring this unless they whiff it. You're never scoring these. you don't have any sort of direction on it. It's just a two-tap. Like, this worked in 2016. This does not work now. Do not try these. Like, don't try these unless you've got an open net, and even then, why the hell are you trying to do that? I know I'm being a bit brutal here, but it's just how it is. This does not cut it. And that's just the easiest save in history, because you just hit it into them. Really. But you are, to your credit, you are able to cover, get a decent 50-50 from it. Doesn't really go anywhere, but, you know. Take their boost, that's nice, but then you get dribbled on. For no good reason. Main problem there is, what exactly are you covering when you're facing it? Look, what are you covering here? You have the entire 3/4, like the only bit you may be covering is the bottom left hand side of the goal from this perspective. Like, why the hell are they going to shoot bottom left? Like, they're always going to be trying to hit it past you on the right hand side. So, you've got to be shifting yourself so you're over here, not there. And that way you're at least covering. Like, you can still get flicked on if you're too late, but you're still going to be covering a lot more than what you cover, which is basically 0. And they put it exactly that. And that's a goal. That was just a terrible excuse for a kickoff, but no, in the end, you might actually have the right idea. Maybe going a little bit slow would help you here. While it's a terrible kickoff, it does give you the advantage for the first time in 1.5 minutes. So there is credit to that, but then you throw that away by giving them the ball just about. This shadow could have been done better. It was a right idea to shadow. Maybe. It actually would have been better to challenge, if anything. He wasn't ready to shoot until about there. So. And also, once he jumped up for this, he's not going to hit it again. What Sapshark is. He may have 61 boosts, but he's in a terrible position to hit this for the third time. So once he gets this little double jump up, that's all he has. You don't need to rush this. You just need to tap it into the side calmly and with some power, and that might have even been a goal. But nevertheless, you do get it to the wall. But main problem here is that you jump off the wall too late, so you just kind of hit it off the side of your car instead of forward, and it drifts left, and they get a save. That actually would have been your ball. You just have a brain fade, look the wrong way for no good reason. Don't be turning off ball cam here. Basically, that's the moral there. That was your ball. Kickoff is a lot better that time. I think because you're actually saving boosts. Really, I think at this point, you do need to be figuring out what the opponent is trying to do on the kickoff, and his kickoff's pretty consistent. It's just pretty much the same stock standard thing. So just counter that, just save some boosts on the kickoff so you can get a little bit of an advantage, and that was a good 50. He's in no real position. He's not really that competent at flicks plainly, so you just 50 him and get the ball off him. And that was a good challenge again. Just more of that really, just a no fear, and that's an easy goal. Gotta be taking those chances now, and you are, so that's nice. You probably do execute that kickoff better. We'll look at what Sapshark did, really. Okay, so he flips way too late, so it just rolls off the top. But yeah, even if you had done this perfectly, this was a lot better, because you're coming in nicely, and you only side roll at the last minute, so that could have been done better, that recovery. You didn't really need to jump off like this, just power slide. Just power slide, turn off the wall, and you would have had a lot more speed and got it off bounce and all that good stuff. But it's a goal because I don't even know what opponent was trying to do. He just drives at it, does nothing, and again, you had to just hit it over him, and that was the goal. Much better. Well, I still would advise just going for the first small boost. Nevertheless, you do execute that a lot better. We'll look at what Sap Shark did. Okay, so he didn't really get himself aligned properly. You did. And that was just a bit of a whiff, really. You had an easy shot here. You just go in too wide. And yeah. You miss it, but you are able to recover, grab boost. Hopefully you can get yourself back. That was pretty bad, to be honest. Sap Shark was not close enough to put a shot on here. Just let this go past you, swing around and hit it again. You would have gotten that. Looks like this will be... nope. But yeah, you do execute the way you did it, fair enough. You almost own goal it, but far enough away that's not too much of a problem. You are able to get it past the first time. You should have put this in, though, night and day. Just swing yourself in wider, simple as that. And you would have put it in. You're only an inch away, so you're able to get enough wave dash recovery, if I can pronounce that correctly. You should have definitely stolen that boost at the very least, if not turned around. You just keep your ball cam off too long and you don't react, and that's an easy goal. And honestly, even if you think this is a goal, this is going wide. This is going pretty wide. Come on, let me look at you. Like that did go to the other side, so you can't know for sure if that goes in or not. While it probably will go in, and it does evidently, but this could just end up just hitting the post, so maybe you shouldn't quite do that. Should keep your ball cam on. Just as a save, because you never know when it'll just bounce off the post. But your kickoffs are improving, and that's good. Getting into the right position, using a soccer ball correctly, that's nice. Very good pinch out. Gives yourself a bit more of that speed. Seems like you kind of get spooked by the engine sound. You should probably actually check visually where your opponent is, because you know he's not in goal at the moment, so he's on the left-hand side somewhere. It sounds like you do get spooked, so you take it up the wall. I hope that is, because here, if you had taken up the wall here to try and shoot it, then I'd be questioning. Like, what's this? And you go for it anyway, like, that's just atrocious. Again, just giving up, like this is gold. People will screw up open nets sometimes. You should be just trying to get yourself back as hard as you can, but this is just inexcusable. Like, if you didn't get spooked by his engine sound, then I'd be questioning. Even then, you should be checking. But regardless, why are you going for this? Like, you're one goal down. You're one goal down with 2 minutes left in a ranked match, and you're going for ceiling shots that you will never get, ever. Ceiling shots, useless. Don't go for them. You will only see, like, grand champs going for ceiling shots, and that's only because defense is so good in 1v1 at those ranks. Here, defense, not so good. Just hit it at the backboard. Hit it off the backboard and get it off the rebound. Don't be going for ceiling shots. They may look fancy, but they don't help you. And that's what happens. The guy who, your opponent, who has the shittiest camera settings in history, and can barely jump for a ball to save his life, the only reason he's winning by 2 goals at the moment is purely because he's getting into the right positions, he's being there when he's needed, and he's just playing off your mistakes. And you're making plenty of them. You're going for dumb aerial plays, dumb ceiling shots, and he's just collecting the ball and walking it up the field. It's really as simple as that at this rank sometimes, just to win. You just need to be sensible and just walk it up the field off an opponent's mistake. Be more this guy. Like, don't be like this guy completely, because this guy's still got plenty of his own issues with his stock standard kickoff, bad aerial play. But try and be a bit more grounded. Don't be so willing to take to the air and do dumb things, because they don't work. They may be flashy and they may catch your opponent off guard for the first 30 seconds, but see again, you just throw away the ball on the kickoff. You go in too hard. They get the ball off you, and if he didn't have shit mechanics and he actually hit that ball, that's a goal. That you're 3 goals down. You're probably not going to come from that, judging by the momentum. And again, just going in a bit too hard. You don't shoot this down. If you'd shot this down, you probably would have gotten it in, because he's panicking. He's going off the goal wall. You know, he finally had been in a position where he isn't being patient, and you just kind of throw it away. Another worrying thing, well, you don't wave dash first of all. You kind of just flip off, and then you don't collect any of the boosts in the middle of the field. You go in and this is 0 boost. It's very risky, and you almost don't goal it. So there, you're in the right position. Took it off him for a little bit. He has to take it back, and he's panicking now. So, and yeah, just again, you just default to the ball so many times, and yeah, that free open net is not so much free open net anymore. And even with his mistake, you can't capitalize on that. But you are able to get this goal, mainly because finally Sapshark's panicking a bit, so bit too much from him, and he gives you a free open net, and you finally do a sensible ground play that was basically sitting in front of you for the past 30 seconds. There you go, that was a good kickoff. It's just mainly getting yourself to hit that middle of the ball more consistently, and he makes another mechanical error, just flips the wrong way. You're able to get it around him, you play sensible, and that's an easy 5th goal. So finally, for these last 30-40 seconds, you're actually playing pretty sensibly. You're making solid kickoffs. You're not doing dumb aerial plays. We'll see this though. Main problem is that you just throw it away. You can let the ball get away from you, but thankfully you are able to get the demo, but then you just tap the ball, and while he's not behind you, you still want to be trying to get it upfield as quickly as possible, not allowing him to recover, just like that. They are able to recover. Now you spend an extra 10 seconds trying to get it out. You default to the wall once again like an idiot, and it just goes nowhere. And it goes nowhere some more. Like, while you do technically bring it forward and put some pressure on them, in the end, this isn't ever going in unless they don't exist. And unfortunately, even in 1v1, there's still someone that exists to oppose you, so these don't work. You just waste a monumental amount of boost. What you should be doing is just dribbling this upfield. You would have had and hit off the backboard. Backboard's far more valuable than just doing a bad air dribble upfield and then completely whiffing it. So now he's just going to walk it into the goal for about the 4th time. And yep, that's... Right, so the score says this is the end of the match, but last 20 seconds, however long. You do get a decent kickoff, but that you spend too much time practicing the wave dash to bother actually scoring. What you should be doing is just waiting to pick up the ball as it falls down instead of practicing your wave dash, drive right by it, and give them a free attack. Like, again, just screwing around. Like, mate, you're a goal down with 10 seconds left. What are you doing? It's just, bruh. And yep, this will be the end, because I doubt you can dribble it all the way around the field, and yep, that's the end. So that was pretty subpar, to say the least. You had flashes of decent play, but the rest of it was pretty much just true Gold 2 stereotypical air dribbler fashion. Too many aerial players, and you got beaten by the person who just waited for you to give it to them. And he does that. He's more than happy to oblige. Doesn't. Yeah, he may have the shittiest mechanics, he may barely be able to see the ball, but he just walks in 5 or 6, well, 3 or 4 goals, there, just purely off your air dribbles. And yeah, wins the match. In the end, you'll end up getting beaten by someone who can combine yours and his playstyle, but nevertheless, smart play will beat dumb play. And in the end, you gotta, if you are gonna do air dribbles, you gotta think them through. You gotta be smart with them. You can't be just throwing them about. You can't be defaulting to the wall. If there's any default you want to fall back on, it's your ground play, not your air play. Because when it's your air play that you're defaulting to, you're just gonna lose. You're gonna lose every time. You just default to airplay. Because while airplay, like I said, might surprise the opposition for a little bit, but in the end, they're just gonna smack it past you once they realize that your ground play is complete garbage. So yeah, definitely main thing is just going to free play and practicing not defaulting to the wall. Just practice dribbling. Keep it on your car. It's really as simple as that. Just practice your flicking. Practice hitting it onto the backboard. Practice double tapping it off the backboard maybe, instead of air dribbling. Like what? I'm not the greatest ones player in history. I won't claim to be that. And I don't really play ones all that much, but it's just a basic thing really across all ranks. Rely on your ground play more than your air play. Because that is what's going to get you ranked up in the end. Not your air play won't matter until your ground play is not able to beat them anymore. Which is why you'll see only really the high ranks will do the proper air play. I know the rank distribution is different at 1v1, so you'll probably see it at more like... You'll probably see more common airplay at about Diamond. I think that's about where it gets a bit higher in 1v1 is about Diamond. But yeah, the point is, you need to be making more use of ground play. Just being patient, just dribbling it around them. That's exactly what your opponent did to you. He just dribbled it past you a lot of the time. And then when he couldn't dribble it past you, he just waited for you to throw it away with a dumb aerial play. And then he just walked it down the field. That's sometimes just all you need. If you are going to use the wall, use it to rebound it off the wall. Don't just roll it up and do a dumb play. Basically. But yeah. Like I said, may seem a bit brutal, but in the end, that's just... It's a massive issue in gameplay, and it's definitely something you need to fix. I would say though that is pretty much it. Oh, what else did you ask though? Okay, so in terms of positioning, which was the first thing you asked, I would say... I'll just mainly say it's definitely just incorporating patience into your positioning. Don't throw yourself at the ball so early. Like while you did do wise and later on in the match in terms of your positioning and your attack, in the end it did bite you in the arse early on. You went 2 goals, almost 3 goals down. So it's definitely another thing to keep in mind. There is just trying to be a bit more patient, just shadowing a bit more, being smarter. There was one situation where you did shadow, but you still attacked too early. Like he had thrown the ball away. He had done exactly what your shadowing is supposed to do, throw the ball away so you can just walk it up the field. What you need to be doing there is, like I said, is just... whatchamacallit? Yeah, it's just taking a bit longer to just get yourself around to the other side of the ball and then taking it up the field. Not screwing around. Not necessarily screwing around, just not rushing it and having to make a weird air roll just to get a hit onto the ball. In terms of boost management, I'll be honest, your boost management wasn't really the problem at all. Like, if there's one thing I would call out on the boost management, it's the fact that you're air dribbling. Like, the only wrong thing with your boost management was because you're air dribbling. And you're wasting tons of boost because of it. But that's less your boost because you have to use lots of boosts on air dribbles. That's just the way it is. So, if there's one piece of advice to manage your boost better, stop air dribbling so much. Maybe employ it once or twice a game, not several. That would be my advice. Really. Keep the air dribbles for later on when you actually need them, and work on your ground play. Stay on the ground more. Because in the end, once you get to the air in 1v1, there's no going back. If you screw up, that's a goal. Okay? It's either you put it straight into the goal, or they will score back on you. And that's what happened too many times, and you failed every single time on your air dribbles, and almost every single time it just came right back into your face. So, definitely, those are the main things. But yeah, I would say that is pretty much it for this analysis. If you need any more clarification, feel free to DM either me or the other coaches in the Discord. I'm sure they're more than happy to help. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the analysis, and until then, goodbye.